You know that feeling, right? You pick up your phone to check just one quick thing, and then you look up and an hour has just vanished. Poof, gone. You've been zombie scrolling, just lost in this digital haze, and you have almost nothing to show for it. If that sounds even a little bit familiar, I promise you are so not alone. Yeah, this quote from journalist Manoush Samarodi it hits the nail on the head, doesn't it? It's that jarring feeling, that jolt when you realize you've been totally checked out, doing something that didn't add any real value to your life. And that feeling, that's exactly what we're going to talk about today. Okay, so here's our game plan. We're going to start with the big picture, the battle for your attention. Then we'll get into exactly how this stuff is designed to be so addictive. We'll look at the high cost of all this distraction, but don't worry, we're not just going to leave you there. We're also going to talk about your brain's built-in superpowers and give you a real, practical action plan to get started. Let's do it. All right, let's dive in. And I want to start with what is probably the single most important idea in this entire explainer. If you feel constantly distracted, it's not you. It's not a personal failure or a lack of willpower. The world we live in, especially our digital world, has been intentionally engineered to make you feel this way. You see, we're living in what's called the attention economy. And what that really means is that all those apps, all those news sites, all those streaming platforms, they're not just offering you content. They're in a bare-knuckle brawl with each other for your focus. Because to them, your attention is the product. It's the most valuable thing they can get, and they are fighting tooth and nail for every single second of it. So let's just say this one more time because it is so, so important. Stop blaming yourself. Seriously, that feeling of being pulled in a million different directions at once, it isn't a personal failing. It is the direct result of a system designed to capture and monetize your focus. And you know what? Just understanding that, that's the first huge step to breaking free. Okay, so how are they actually doing it? I mean, what are the mechanics behind it all? Well, let's pull back the curtain and look at the psychological tricks that are literally built into the apps you probably use every single day. It all comes down to this 4-step model called the habit loop. It's really powerful. So step 1 is the trigger. This could be anything, a notification that pops up, or even just that little pang of boredom or loneliness. That trigger leads to step 2, the action. You open the app. Then comes step 3, the reward. This is that little hit of dopamine you get from a funny video, a like, a new message. And finally, step 4 is the investment. You leave a comment, you post something, you do something that makes you more likely to come back. Trigger, action, reward, investment. It's a cycle, and it is incredibly effective at hooking us. And they have this whole toolkit of features designed to power that loop. Think about it. Infinite scroll. There's literally no bottom, no natural stopping point. You have algorithmic curation, where a supercomputer is basically designing the perfect, irresistible feed just for you. Then there's the big one, intermittent rewards. This is the slot machine effect. You don't get a reward every time, so you just keep pulling the lever, hoping for the next one. And of course, push notifications. Those are the external triggers constantly poking you, trying to pull you right back in. Okay, so we get it. It's by design. But so what? What's the actual cost here? Well, this goes way, way beyond just feeling a little distracted. The consequences are serious, and they're really, really real. I mean, you just have to look at online communities like Reddit's Stop Gaming forum to see how stark the human cost is. People there share these heartbreaking stories that are so much bigger than just losing a few hours. We're talking about people tanking their grades, getting fired from jobs, losing thousands of dollars, and just having this awful, nagging feeling that their life is completely off the rails. And the data really backs this up. For the general population of gamers, about 3 to 4% are affected by what's now officially recognized as gaming disorder. But look at this. For gamers under 18, that number more than doubles to 8.5%. That's a huge jump. It points to a really clear vulnerability for younger people whose brains are literally still building the circuits for self-control. And this timeline is just startling. For years, up until about 2009, rates of youth mental health issues were pretty stable. But then, right around 2012, which is exactly when smartphones and social media really went mainstream, everything changed. Suddenly, you see this sharp, terrifying, continuous spike in psychiatric emergencies for self-harm, particularly among adolescent girls. This isn't just in one country, it's across the developed world. The correlation is it's impossible to ignore. Okay, so that's the problem, and it is big, and it's absolutely serious. But now for the good news. And this is really good news. Your brain is already equipped with the superpowers you need to fight back. We just have to learn how to activate them. And it all comes down to understanding two very different but equally crucial modes of thinking. So I love this metaphor from educator Barbara Oakley. She says to imagine your brain is a pinball machine. Okay, when you're in focused mode, all the bumpers are packed really close together. A thought, the pinball, bounces around really fast along familiar, well-worn pathways. This is great for executing tasks you already know how to do. But then there's diffuse mode. In this mode, the bumpers are spread way, way apart. Your thoughts can just roam freely, making these huge, surprising leaps and connecting ideas that seem totally unrelated. This is where creativity and learning really happen. And the key to unlocking that amazing, creative, diffuse mode is something called the default mode network, or DMN. Now, for years, scientists kind of thought this was just your brain idling, like a car in neutral. But it turns out they were so wrong. When you're just daydreaming or staring out a window doing nothing, this incredible network lights up. It's actually super busy, connecting old memories, planning for your future, and just making sense of your world. So this isn't idle time. It's prime time for your brain. And if you want some real-world proof of this, check this out. There was a factory fire that forced a whole group of employees into 4 days of just unscheduled downtime. 4 days of doing nothing, basically. The result? The very next week, that same group of people submitted 60% more creative ideas. Let that sink in. 60%. That's the power of the default mode network when you finally let it do its thing. So the science is crystal clear, right? Our brains need space to wander. They crave it. So the big question is, how on earth do we create that space in our crazy, hyper-connected world? Well, that's what we're getting into next. Let's talk practical tools for both your inner and outer worlds. Okay, let's start inside with your internal toolkit. First up, we need to learn to embrace boredom. There's this wonderful Italian phrase, dolce far niente. It means the sweetness of doing nothing. And in our culture of constant productivity, just doing nothing is a radical act. You can schedule stillness in your calendar, or just let your mind wander while you're folding laundry. Another huge one is deep reading. I mean, reading a physical book. In an age of endless scrolling, focusing on a book is like resistance training for your attention span. You're literally building the mental muscle for deep, complex thought. All right, now let's talk about your external world. There's this brilliantly simple technique from James Clear called the 2-minute rule. Here's how it works. Whatever new habit you want to build, you just scale it down so it only takes 2 minutes. So you don't read more, you read 1 page. You don't go for a run, you put on your running shoes. The whole point is to make starting so ridiculously easy that you can't say no. The psychology is just It's perfect. The barrier to getting started completely vanishes. And here's another great external tool. This one's from deep work expert Cal Newport. It's called time blocking. So instead of letting your day be this chaotic mess of reacting to emails and notifications, you take command. You literally look at your day, break it into blocks of time, and you give every single minute a job. Now, this isn't about being some rigid robot. It's about being intentional, so that when you have a free moment, your default isn't just to automatically reach for your phone and start scrolling. Okay, we have covered a lot of ground. The problem, the science behind it, and some really practical tools. So now let's boil it all down into a super simple action plan that you can start using like today. So here are the 4 big ideas to take with you. Number 1, and I can't say this enough, stop blaming yourself. You're fighting a system, not a personal flaw. Number 2, know your brain's 2 modes. Learn when to use focused thinking and when to let your mind wander in diffuse mode. Number 3, build that internal toolkit. Embrace boredom. Read a real book. And number 4, build your external toolkit. Use smart strategies like time blocking and that 2-minute rule to design a life that supports focus. And hey, if you want to go deeper on any of this stuff, these 3 books are absolutely fantastic places to start. Cal Newport's Deep Work is all about the why focus is so valuable. James Clear's Atomic Habits is the ultimate how-to guide for building better habits. And Barbara Oakley's A Mind for Numbers is just a fascinating look at the neuroscience of how we learn, including that amazing diffuse mode we talked about. And that brings us to the end of our explainer. But of course, this is really just the beginning, right? So I want to leave you with one final question. Forget about trying to change everything all at once. That's just overwhelming. Instead, ask yourself this: what is one small, tiny thing you can do today, right now, to start taking back your attention?
Thanks for watching. You can find a list of books and other resources from this video in the description below. We earn a small affiliate fee when you buy through these links.